All right, so let's do the tutorial for the My Scene version of Project 4 Outdoor Scene. Okay, so I'd say the thing to do is start a new Max, and first thing you want to do is save it. So go over here to File and go to Save As, and then you should be in your own H drive, in the student drive, and in the Scenes folder. And we'll go ahead and save it. Let's see here. I think I got it started here. Yeah. So your last name, your first name, and Project 4D My Outdoor Scene. Remember, this is your outdoor scene. So even though I give you suggestions in here, please go ahead and make it your own. Okay. And we'll put save. All right, so in making my outdoor scene, I thought that I wanted to make it a little bit more expansive. Like, what would we do if we were to have a character move around a little bit more? Or what if we were wanting to pan a camera and get the camera started to be animated a little bit? So, yeah, we'll walk you through it. Anyways, so let's start by changing all our viewports. That's what you want to do all the time. Only takes a second. You know what we're going to do. We're going to change it from wireframe to the default shading. And we're going to show display selected with edge faces. I'm going to assume that the unit measurements are in feet and inches, and when I start building stuff, I'll see. So we'll just let that go. All right, so I say, Alt W here to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to start with a simple cylinder. There we go. Stretch that out a little bit. And right click so I stop making cylinders. I'm going to center it. So here we go. I've got this. Center and center. Okay, let's look at the parameters of this thing. So first off, this is outdoors, right? And this is going to be my stage, so it's going to be big. So let's go ahead and make it like 100 feet across and maybe about 70 or 80 feet high. And the height segments, here, we can see the whole thing. Watch this. If I just go down here and go to my zoom extents all selected, there. Now I can see my cylinder again. Anyways, my height segments, I don't need any height segments. So just one. One is fine. And then my cap segments, I want a bunch of segments up here in the cap. So I think like 64 would be good. That seems like a lot, but you'll see. And then the side segments also like 64 of them. So it's a nice round circle here. And finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it an editable mesh. Okay, so I think from there what I'll do is I'll go to my left-hand view. So L for left, and zoom so I can see it. And I'm going to start cutting this thing up a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is go to my vertices here, and I'm going to select about half of this right here. So selecting all these vertices on top, and I'm going to go ahead and delete. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my polygons, and I'm going to select everything here, and then I'm going to deselect these ones just across the side here, so I only get the ones on top. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down my Alt key, put a marquee through there, and once again I'm going to say delete. And you're going to see that what happens is, let's go T for top and zoom out, is that that whole top part's gone. Watch, if I go back, you'll see there was more, and then I deleted just that. Okay, and let's go back to my perspective view here. And looking pretty good. I've got this one little legacy little bit right here. I want to get rid of that one so we have a nice clean edge. And F for front. Did I set it up right? Hopefully I did. Oh, I did it just exactly backwards, but that's no big deal. Let's do this. Let's go T for top, and I'm going to grab this thing right here. That's everything. I don't need to do it like that here. And I'm going to rotate it. So I want to rotate it a full 180. So I'm going to look down. Oh, you know what? I'm going to set these right here. Angle snaps. That'll make it easier. So 180. There we go. And now, if we were to look at it, let's go right here on the edge. Can we see? My front view here. Let's go perspective here. At least my front-ish sort of view. You can see, yeah, so that's that way when I look into it, when I go to my front viewport, I'll be seeing exactly what I'm looking for. Sorry for that extra step. But in any case, now these are a little bit hard to see right here, right? And what we'll do so that we can see everything better is we're going to do what's called flipping the vertices. So I'm going to go ahead and selecting everything. I'm going to go down here, down. You see surface properties. I'm going to say flip. Okay, now all of a sudden it's these things that will be active. See, because the polygons have a side that, well, is, let's say, it shows an image or it reflects light, and one that doesn't. And so we want the one that it to be the one that does is the part that we see. Don't worry about it. All you have to know is that you go here and you say flip, and then it should be a nice bright color here. Yeah, and that's what we're looking for, right? That's looking pretty good. That's my stage so far. I think what I want to do too is I want to go one more step, and I want to separate this bottom from the top. So what I'll do is I'll go here to polygons, and selecting these guys right here, I'm going to go here and up just a little bit. Okay, there I am at the top, coming down. And you know how you can attach things? Well, you can also detach things right here. So detach, and I'm going to call this sky. There you go. Alright, and that's going to be my main background. And here, then, this other part, that's left over, we're going to call that ground. Okay, good deal. And what we're going to do with this ground is we're going to start giving it a little bit of a shape. Now, in the past, what we've done is we've selected the vertices and used maybe that paint select, that's this one up here, right, to paint various vertices and pull things up. That's how we did it in the last one. What we'll do with this one instead is we'll use a modifier, and it's called the noise modifier. So here we go. Let's zoom into this just a little bit so we can see what's going on with it. And with that all selected, I'm going to go up here to my modifier list and down to where it says noise. Okay, that's going to give me the noise modifier. And so if I just go on here where it says Z, because remember Z is up and down, and I'll just keep going up. And it's starting to happen. It's going up, and it's only gone up like a foot and something right now. I want to go up a little bit more extreme than that. And this, by the way, this is why we got all those segments, because if we didn't have this whole bunch of segments, it would have been very difficult to make it bend like this and be all ripply. Okay, in the future I can show you this is a fantastic way of doing water. So I'm just going to make that an even 5 feet. There it is. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to bake that in by collapsing the stack. Say collapse all. There it is. All right, and you know what? One more thing is I want a second element here. And you'll see what I'm doing in just a second, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to shift copy that. You see how that's going, and you can see these areas that are sort of in between now, these areas here. And let me see, I'm just going to say it's a copy, sure, and say OK. Oh, let's read ground 01, that's fine. And say OK. There it is. And so now I've got these two different areas. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine them back into one thing. But it's still going to have two elements. Well, you'll see. Okay, so here we go. What I'll do is, got this. I'm going to come on down here. And this time I'm going to say attach. And I'm going to attach this here. All right, so it's now it's all ground 01. And I might as well just change the name here. Click this while I stop attaching things. And just keep it as ground. See how I just took those couple of zeros off? Okay, so that's my ground, and it's nice and bumpy now, kind of in a random way. And that'll work out just fine, you'll see. Okay. So now we've got our backdrop started. And I think I want to bring in some materials. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to go over here to my material editor. And I think I'll start with giving myself a standard material. And I'm going to call this one Sky to match the sky. And while I've got that selected, I'm going to go over here and where it says, view in scene, I'm going to click that. And I'll bring in a picture. So in the T drive, in art and in images, we go here to where it says backgrounds. I've got a bunch of big old backgrounds here. And I like this one right here. It's pretty cool. It's a big mountain scene. And we'll attach that. And we'll attach that to the sky. Now we can start seeing it already. So that's pretty good. See, there it is. And now we'll make a simple multi-sub object for the ground. Why multi-sub? You'll see in just a second. Okay, I only need 2 for this set. So 2 and OK. And then I'm going to say I need a standard and another standard. And if I wanted to, I could even make the one and call it snow. And take the other one and call it rocks. Alrighty. And I'm going to attach that to the ground. Okay, let's bring in some more pictures. So back here in ground, open that up and got a nice picture of snow. In fact, I've got several. I think we'll go with this snow right here. That'll be fine. Make sure it's showing in the scene. And we're going to put that on diffuse color. We're also going to put it down here to bump. And let's see, maybe on the maps, we'll bump that bump up a little bit, maybe to 100%. Why not? Oh, I made it 10%, 100%. There we go. Close up the maps. And snow is shiny, so remember your specular right here. I'm going to bring that up a little bit and broaden it out a little bit. That'll be just fine. A little bit shiny. Okay, and now for the rocks. Double click on that. Make sure that it's showing that in the view as well. And we'll get some rocks, I think, down here. Yeah, these ones right here. I like these ones. They're going to match my set really well. Okay, so all good. Now I don't see anything here, but that's because I don't have anything really assigned to it yet. So I'm going to click on the ground here. And when I click on an element here, I've got one bit of that bumpiness. And I'm just going to call that snow. Doesn't matter which one. So that was the first one. So that would be set ID number 1. So we'll have snow. And then we'll click on the other element. So we've got the opposite ones. And we want that to be the rocks. So we'll put in set ID number 2. And that will make that the rocks. Okay, so we're still not seeing it. That's because these things need to be titled a bit. Here, we'll start with the snow. So the snow, I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to tile that probably about 10 times. Okay, I know you're still not seeing anything, but that's because snow's just white. Now the rocks, on the other hand, I think now's where we're going to start seeing it. So I'm going to tile that about 10 times that way, and 10 times this way. And let's look over here. Oh, we're still not seeing it quite right. That's because Max doesn't know exactly what to do with that image. Maybe because of the roundness, maybe because of the bumpiness. But what we'll do is I think all we'll have to do is put a UVW map on it. Let's just see if we can't just put it on the whole thing here. Yeah, that's it. And that straightened everything out. You know, sometimes we'll take and we'll just separate certain parts of it, but that worked fine. And we'll bake it in by collapsing the stack. There we go. Okay, so let's get rid of that and let's look at this a little bit closer. Not too bad. What does it look like when we go ahead and render it? Oh, not looking bad at all. Not too bad at all yet. Okay, well, obviously we're going to have to change our render setup. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put it on HDTV right off the bat. And sort of that medium resolution is good. Oh yeah, that's looking much better. We'll mess with the lights and everything else, and yeah, I'll get even better looking at that. Well, that seems like the basic set, and seems like a pretty good stopping point before this video gets way too long. We'll go ahead and we'll put in some lights and a little bit of window dressing in the next one.